That wasn't what I was trying to do to start the show. I love technology. No, really, I don't. I can't stand technology. Hi, Thomas Reynolds, nosy liberal. Um, how do you feel? You having a good day? You having a better day than me? I hope you are. It we all have our days where we go through it, and I hope you're having a good day. I am having an interesting day. Um, I really was not ready for some things that happened today, and people in my life just not cooperating. And it's been one of those where I actually slept. I did finally get some sleep after being up for like 24 hours, but I don't feel rested. You know, when you sleep and you're looking to feel rested, and you don't feel rested. But you got sleep. You got the sleep you needed. Um, but you have so much going on, and so much swirling around you. You just don't realize it. Jim, hi, how are you? Jim, if you missed yesterday's show, you missed me on with our good friend Jeff Waldorf. So you'll have to go back and check that out. But I am here, and you are here, and we are live, and we're having a day. I'm trying to get everything in order. So if you'll just bear with me as I do that, my apologies on that. I should know what I'm doing by now after like 5 years of doing this. But some of you might be from Jeff's show, and if you are, thank you. How this For those who are listening or watching, how this show is laid out, we participate and we have a conversation back and forth, and it's not very structured. I don't like structure. ADHD boy here, and so the way I operate the show um, shows that structure is not the greatest thing when it comes to me. But I like it. I hope you'll like it, and I hope you'll stay. So there's that. And feel free to leave a comment. I cannot read my personal Facebook comments. I don't know why. The software just doesn't allow it, and it is what it is. And I do not like the fact that I'm blocking my favorite picture. I love that picture behind me. Um, I think I need to get a better place for it, and do a little bit better with it. But there we go. Much better. Much better. Just a little slight move. See, totally unstructured. Just a little slight move, and things are just even better than they were before. Um, Unlike what's going on in the news. A little slight move, and oh my god, women don't have the life saving healthcare they need. Kind of like, I don't know, one move, and transgender people cannot get the life saving surgery they need because they want to ban it for kids. Notice the trend here. Notice the trend of Republicans just picking on women and what would be classified as vulnerable people. Notice how they do that, and all the while blaming the victims themselves. Notice how the Republicans are just so damn willing to be so damn, as Hillary Clinton said, deplorable. And isn't it something of wonder that liberals like me and Democratic socialists like me, who were not thrilled with Bernie losing, but understood the risks of what would happen if Donald Trump became president, to the Supreme Court, and the difference between the Republicans and the Democratic Party. You know how all that has shaped out? Seems somebody was right. Seems like Hillary Clinton warned us about this. And now it's come to fruition. A little late. Um, Kind of like when you miss your period and find out you're pregnant. A little late, but it she actually was right. Now you can say, well, Hillary didn't deserve it. She would have been too much like Obama, yada yada yada. But just imagine the difference of the court and the makeup of the Supreme Court that we would have if, I don't know, Hillary Clinton were to have gotten maybe 1 or 2 terms. Imagine just how different a normal, not having to say, well, we're going to stack the court would be if people understand and understood that the President of the United States, the winner of the election, whether you like it or not, the winner gets to pick the justice. And now we are being shown yeah, we wouldn't have a rapey SCOTUS. We wouldn't have. We'd have a diverse. I'm betting we would have an even more diverse SCOTUS if Hillary Clinton got to pick the SCOTUS, Jim. I think you're absolutely right on that. And again, when I had the show in the afternoon on the radio and we would talk, and I'd have my liberal friends when we were a little bit more popular than we are now because we're trying to get traction again. I would have my liberal friends who would say, Tom, but her emails! How can you trust Hillary Clinton? How can you trust Hillary Clinton? Well, I trust what I see now. I trust that we may have to stack the court to even it out. I trust that the Republican Party want this no matter what. I trust that I was right all along. And I shouldn't have been apologetic about it. I shouldn't have been standoffish about it. I should have went with it. I should have went with the ramifications of Hillary Clinton not being president is we're going to get a Republican-controlled Supreme Court for the next, I don't know, 50 years. And here, lo and behold, here we are. I wish I had the tape. I wish I had the audio tape. But I've always been lazy about doing the audio bit for recording because I hate hearing the sound of my voice. That being said, I wish I had the tape because I would play the ridiculous. And these are good people on the left, not like the right where they, pick from the worser of two evils. These are good people on the left who wanted to argue with me about how bad Hillary Clinton would treat me and how we don't have to worry about Donald Trump. I mean, it'll be one term maybe. People were literally saying this to me. On air and off air. Donald Trump won't be that bad. And lo and behold, here we are. With Donald Trump being that bad. Holy smokes, Hillary Clinton was right. Hillary Clinton hit the deplorable nail on the head. Hillary Clinton just creamed any Miss Cleo prediction you could have about the makeup of the court and what would happen and how bad it would be, and it's worse. It's worse. We have a court that is okay with rising up the Christian flag of America and a public building because of the First Amendment. We have a court that is okay with apparently damning women to a wire hanger. And I'm not being hyperbolic here. states, and we're going to talk about this with the stories we have today, states are literally saying, we're going to defend your rights because we know these other states that are the batshit crazy ones, we know they're not going to defend your rights. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually defend your rights. Unfreaking believable. And this is where we're at. And again, we shouldn't be here. We shouldn't be at this point. It didn't have to be this way. We didn't have to deal with Donald Trump the way we did. But yet, selfish people with selfish motives decided Donald Trump was better than Hillary Clinton. And yes, God damn it, I will relitigate this. Because when you're right, you're right. And she was right. And even Bernie Sanders warned us. Bernie Sanders came out and said, this is what's going to happen. And we are, Missouri, Jim thinks, made it illegal to leave the state to get an abortion, making it a felony. Missouri. Isn't that a show me state, or is that Indiana? I get my states confused. The dickhead state, apparently. This is the Republican Party, conservatives, white cis males. Sorry if I'm offending you. Not sorry. These people do not care or love women. They use them as props when it's convenient, and they like to put them down any other time. And we're seeing it in real time. We're seeing it happen right now. No joke. And the faux outrage on the right. Oh, we need an investigation, and we need to... They're just mad because we all know the playbook now. And the funny thing is, they've been practically screaming it at the top of their lungs what they would do. It's not like we couldn't see it. No, we didn't need to be Miss Cleo to figure it out. And another thing, you don't need to be Miss... By the way, tweeting the first story we're doing, Joe Manchin, and why he's a dickhead. Excuse me. I'm flabbergasted here that this is where we are at in the state of affairs of things. That this is where we will be. I mean, why do the Republicans hate women? They all came out of one. Why do they hate women? It is so crazy to me. And all these unborn babies they're trying to save. Are they going to give them health care? Are they going to get them adopted? Are they going to let gays adopt them? Are they going to provide cradle-to-grave education? Are they going to clear their student loan debts? No, they don't give a damn about these so-called unborn babies. Unless it's a fundraising opportunity. And it's maddening. It is really pathetic that here we are in 2022, and we have to deal with people like Joe Manchin. And I'm just about tired of dealing with Joe Manchin, for what it's worth. I've had my fill. I wish West Virginia would kick him to the curb. I'd even be okay with losing power because of it. Because we got rid of a menace. Joe Manchin is just not a Democrat. He's loyal to the party of one, which is himself. And we all got to recognize this. Now, the Democratic Party is calling for Congress, namely the Senate, to stand up. And this story is from The Hill, by the way. Stand up and do something to protect women's rights. Rightly so. They're saying, look, we need to help out women. We need to help all women. You know, even Marjorie Taylor Greene. All women need what most Americans support: a legal, safe abortion. And we have if you go to The Hill, where the story from, we have the polling data to prove it. America shouldn't be here. And we'll be right back with a little bit more on why it's so important that we get away from this as quickly as possible. And Joe Manchin, for that matter. And we're back, everybody. It'd be helpful if I unpaused the program and unmuted myself so I could say hi. Yeah, don't say any passwords out loud. The break was muted, which is weird, but I heard it. That is strange. I don't know why. Can you hear me now? I hope you can hear me now. It would defeat the purpose if you can't hear me now. So that's always the thing. Let's check out the that is why the mic was muted. Tom made a oops. Okay, Tom fixed the reason why the break was muted, and now everybody should be able to hear me better. And I'm glad I didn't have any video or audio to play today. So Joe Manchin is well, a dick. I don't know how else to put it. I can't be nice or diplomatic about it at this point or politically correct. He's just a dick. And when the Democratic Party and the people on the right side of history are screaming to do something correct and proper to dealing with abortion, you would think that the Democratic Party would have everybody in line. But then there's Joe Manchin. Oh, Joe. Manchin yet again defended the filibuster when asked if he would help do that. He said the filibuster is the only protection we have in democracy. We protected women's rights with the filibuster. So now we just destroy women's rights with it? Doesn't make any sense to me. Manchin is one of two Democratic senators who have largely defended the 60-vote hurdle, and Kristen Sinema, another fine piece of work, is also there for it. What is the point? What is the point of having any power if you're not going to do anything with it? The whole point of getting the votes in the Senate to have control of the Senate, the whole idea was so we could have a semblance of, rule of law and policy, all these things that the Republican Party doesn't do, all these things the Republican Party doesn't like. It would be nice if maybe we actually did them. It would be nice if we went along and said, you know what is a good idea? What is a good idea is, democracy. And not taking women's rights away that they've had for years and years and years. Decades even. Not just letting it fritter away because we're Joe Manchin and we have to pretend to hold on to some kind of principle. When in fact, if we're honest about it, it's just a power grab. So people will genuflect to him and he could have a popularity contest because the people of West Virginia seem to be a bunch of dumb ass box of rocks. Rocks. It really gets, this is again, Joe Manchin, wrong side of history. This is again, we have the Democratic Party trying to do the right thing, and here we have a so-called Democrat, no matter who, waving his cock around like people want to see it. Put it away. Nobody wants to see it. You're just proving you're a dickhead. And again, I don't know how to be any other way than non-diplomatic about it. Because at this point, Joe Manchin cock blocks Democratic things. Democratic victories that we could be having right now. It's Joe Manchin who is just, nah, not going to happen. Not on my watch. And the so lame. Well, we protected women's rights with the filibuster before, so I think it's a good idea to blah, 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 wah, 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 wah. Really? I hope you're right about that, Jim, that the more they overreach, the more we have a chance in 22 and 24. But What's the point if Joe Manchin is going to be there cut blocking any kind of victories that we had to have, moral or otherwise? Why is it that he gets to be in the way of progress? And I get what you're saying, Jim. But the Democratic Party has to be stronger. The Democratic Party has to be more agile. The Democratic Party has to, I don't know, act like it has some choices. Otherwise, what's the point? Just lie there and let the Republicans walk all over us? And all over women? And all over transgender people? And all over black people? I mean, Joe Manchin here, along with his buddy and pal Christian Cinema, is the problem. They will not let us do any winning. And here we have an ability to codify Roe versus Wade without damaging much, if anything. And we have a senator who's willing to cockblock it. And why at this point? Why do we allow this to continue to happen? And for the life of me, I struggle to figure out what the people of West Virginia see in Joe Manchin. He is a treacherous little man and should be nowhere near public life. He can go and be a lobbyist. He can go right into the sunset and count his daughter's money along with his. He doesn't need to be anywhere in public life. We'll be right back. Right after this.
Insight Daily Radio.
From food to fashion, science to tech talk, or for just plain fun, we've got you covered. From the art of all things, here's Lasana Jeffries.
There are more than 80 spelling variations recorded for Shakespeare's name in the few signatures that have survived. In November of 1582, Shakespeare applied for a license to marry Anne Hathaway. She was 3 months pregnant at the time. William and Anne Shakespeare had 3 children. Susanna was christened in May of 1583, and the twins, Judith and Hamnet, in February of 1585. According to the Oxford Dictionary of Quotations, Shakespeare wrote about 1/10 of the most quotable quotations ever written or spoken in English. Although Shakespeare is usually considered an Elizabethan playwright, much of his greatest work was produced after James I took the throne. In 1603, Shakespeare's company became the official player for King James I and renamed themselves the Kingsmen. Shakespeare's works contained first ever recordings of 2,035 English words, including critical, frugal, excellent, bare-faced. Countless excellent phrases now commonly used occur first in Shakespeare's works, including one fell swoop, vanish into thin air, play fast and loose, be in a pickle, foul play, tower of strength, flesh and blood, be cruel to be kind, and with bated breath. Shakespeare is buried near the altar of Holy Trinity Church, where he was baptized in Stratford-upon-Avon. The slabstone over his tomb, good friend, for Jesus' sake forbear to dig the dust Enclosed here, blessed be the man that spares these stones, and cursed be he that moves my bones. And thanks for listening. I'm Lisana Jeffries.
Insight Daily Radio.
I'm Rick Smith, and this is Labor History in 2. On this day in labor history, the year was 1911. That was the day the state of Wisconsin passed the Wisconsin Workmen's Compensation Act. The state became the first to have a constitutional system for providing medical expenses, wage loss payments, or death benefits to employees or their families. The law is regarded as a pioneering act of social legislation and a major accomplishment of Wisconsin's progressive movement. Activist journalism exposed deadly and disfiguring working conditions in the country's industries. State industrial commissions were established to conduct factory inspections and demand reform legislation and regulations. Upton Sinclair's initial intent in writing The Jungle was to cultivate a public outcry for better and safer working conditions. By 1907, the Russell Sage Foundation funded dozens of investigators to study industrial and social conditions in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. 2 volumes of essays were produced, entitled The Pittsburgh District, Civil Frontage, and Wage Earning Pittsburgh. The essay, Work Accidents and the Law, written by Crystal Eastman, exposed the enormity of work-related accidents and deaths, and the failure of employers to compensate victims and their families. Her investigation examined several industries, including railroads, steel, and coal mining. She noted, quote, "There is no bright side to this situation. By industrial accidents, Allegheny County loses more than 500 workmen every year, of whom nearly half are American-born. 70% are workmen of skill and training, and 60% have not yet reached the prime of their working life. Youth, skill, strength, in a word, human power is what we are losing." Eastman's survey worked to shift the burden from workers to employers. It is largely credited with the passage of workers' compensation laws, though it would take decades for similar laws to be enacted in states throughout the nation.
We are back. Welcome to the program, The Nosey Liberal. My name is Tom Reynolds. We are live today. Just going to do an hour today. I know I hate it too, but I'm so frustrated and I need a breath with a couple of things. And it'll get better in the week. But I got this Joe Manchin, and Biden. Oh, McConnell's my friend, Jim says. McConnell's everybody's friend. Jesus. It's ridiculous. When it comes to Joe Biden. Everybody's Joe Biden's friend, as I was trying to say. Let's try to get that out of the way properly. But here we are, the Democratic Party trying to do the right thing for women. What the poll shows in the Hill that the majority of American people want, and one man cock-blocking it, and not a Republican. Republicans all lockstep and in line, but one lone, lonely, pathetic ass Democrat. And here we are. And it's frustrating as all hell. And I frankly got a little nauseated at having to do a show when the news is just so pathetically bad. And this doesn't get any better. We talked about Connecticut yesterday, and now we have New York and California, the blue states, trying to help women out. There was a story that I saw that Amazon is going to give $4,000 to you if you cross the state line to have an abortion. How about they just give people $4,000 as bonuses for surviving the pandemic and working for their asses? Can we do that? Can we do that instead? Because what they're going to say on the right wing is, oh, they're paying people to kill babies and have abortions. You can see it. You can see, and you can see the animosity and the dangerous rhetoric a mile away from these people. And Joe Manchin is, oh, we need the filibuster. We need the filibuster. And Joe Biden is, oh, McConnell's my friend. Oh, joy. Who's your enemy then? Jesus. So, that being said, we have New York and the story from Daily Mail. New York and California doing the right thing. As you should do the right thing. You should always do the right thing and not be told to do the right thing, because it doesn't come out believable when you are told to do the right thing and you do the right thing. When you actually do what Democratic governors have said they're going to do, you don't look like the 26 Republican states expected to ban abortions. You want to look like California and New York. You want to look like you're protecting women and not catering to a low-information voter pool that thinks they're just saving the babies. And again, I ask that same Republican who wants to save every child that comes out of the womb from someone who wants to have an abortion. I ask them, will you let gay men adopt? Will you let single women adopt? Will you let a lesbian couple adopt? I believe the answer is no. And I'm with you on that, Jim. I believe that all women should move to blue states to protest. It would be a beautiful thing. But it's not going to happen because you got too many of the Marjorie Taylor Greens out there. So, it may be that 26 Republican states are likely to either ban abortion or have heavy restrictions because they just like putting them women down in those red states. And being on the wrong side of history is what they do best. And Democratic governors are rushing to promise that no matter what the Supreme Court, that activist court, does, they will always allow abortions in their state. Governor Newsom of California tweeted that he would enshrine the right to abortion in the California Constitution. Oh, Lord Jesus. I'm going to put it in the Constitution. It's come to that. It's come to that because Congress couldn't act, because when we were given the opportunity to do something about it, poor old Joe Manchin doesn't want to end the filibuster. Well, we actually have the power to do it. Idaho, Wyoming, Utah, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Kentucky, they don't give a shit about women. They be red states. And then you got people like Kathy Hochul, a governor of New York, saying we're going to make sure abortion rights are protection for women. Phil Murphy of New Jersey, governor, also says the same thing. Tim Walz, governor, says the same thing. And it's nice to see people like Jay Inslee, governor, as well, saying this and being like, yeah, we're going to protect women. It's nice to see that women are being used more than just cannon fodder for political gain. And that's what this is. Yeah, they are reverting the laws in the 1930s. It's really sad. It's really quite enraging. And that's kind of why I can't do 2 hours today. I gotta put the brakes on it because I can't, like, I can't wrap my head around how people can be so cruel to another person. Oh, but think of the babies, Tom. All those unborn lives we're just going to save all those unborn children. God forbid a gay man wants to go and adopt one of those gay babies. Oh, can't have that. Can't be doing that. That'd be against the Bible and shit. This is cruel and unusual punishment to deal with this continual nonsense from the right wing. And all the Democratic Party is doing is literally the right thing, except Joe Manchin and Kirsten Sinema. Those two senators, those two nincompoops, they don't want to do the right thing. You can't ask them to do the right thing. But you got Kathy Hochul, Phil Murphy, Tim Walz, Jay Inslee, these states, these good Democratic, maybe moderate Democratic people standing up for women, saying, you know what, we're going to give women the rights that they should be empowered with. It shouldn't be that hard to do and stand up for women and do the right thing. And Kit Brown, governor of Oregon, is right. All Americans should have access to abortion, full stop. And I only wish that the Democratic side was more loud about this, as the Republicans who browbeat us with Save the Babies. Like, they actually give half a wink about these fetuses. They don't care. It's a way to raise money. It's a way to get votes. It's a way to get everybody all hangered up. And they get to down on women, too. And what Republican doesn't love a good dunking on women? Because, again, it goes back to like why Ted Cruz was so mad at Stacey Abrams for being in Star Trek. You can't have a strong, especially African-American woman, in any type of authoritative way. You just can't do that now, you hear. So they give Kamala Harris the cackle queen moniker. And so it goes. And don't forget, Joe Biden is senile, and Hillary Clinton had, what's-his-face, sleep with the fishes while she was in the pedophile pizza basement eating babies with Anderson Cooper and getting ready for John Kennedy Jr.'s resurrection. Is it any wonder we're here and like I'm frustrated and literally can't see straight? Because frankly, I'm only 2 stories in and I want to be that guy who yells at the TV because these people do not care about women. And it goes back to, again, we warned you. We did everything we could to tell you that this was going to happen. And Jim rightly points out, the Republicans have pretty much excelled, let alone achieved. They've excelled in the barefoot and pregnant agenda of the Republican Party. Because that's where Donald J. Trump likes his women, so you can grab them easier. And it's like we talked about this yesterday. It's all fine and dandy to laugh and mock and talk trash about these right wingers. But why do we give them oxygen except to defeat them? We should be concentrating on how we're going to defeat a J.D. Vance if he wins this primary that's coming up. By the way, primary day today in a lot of states. And Fox News is all over it. Like a pissing puppy. And it's just frustrating where the news cycle is. And it is frustrating to me that more people don't get up and get angry and realize that we're in a real crisis situation here. For our trans youth, for our women. Because all of a sudden I saw this story on The Blaze that I decided not to do. I saw this story about how, paraphrasing, woke liberals all of a sudden care about women because of their long-held transgender agenda. We have the agenda. Oh my God. Are you kidding me? We could have marched ourselves out of a paper bag to get a George Soros check. The evangelicals, the right-wingers of the world, as Jim rightly points out, scare him. And they should scare you. Because they, like that prosperity, have enough money to tithe and have enough money to pass around to these neocon fascist SOBs who are just willing to do the most damage possible. But you better take care of that baby. That little infant in the womb. They couldn't give two shits. They really couldn't. And it goes to the state of what their policies are. Name me one policy. Name me one policy of the Republican Party that isn't attacking women, gays, blacks, poor. Name me one. Find me a policy. I'll give you a cookie. I will get you a cookie. You will not be able to find a policy that a Republican has created that has not caused some kind of damage to somebody in society. Crime. Lock them all up. They like to say. Lock her up. Lock him up. But my emails, oh Jesus. They don't care. Black on black crime. They care enough to point it out to blame the Democratic Party for what's going on in Chicago or New York. But they don't care to make it more than a punchline for Bill Maher's show to impress him. They don't want improvement, hence conservative. And here we are, again in 2022, and we have states like California, New York, Vermont, trying to do the right thing. And not because anybody's putting a gun to their head either. Which is nice to see in the political scene. And my dog just came into the room. She wanted to say hi because she knows I'm on the air and, there's that. She wants attention. I have to give the puppy attention. Otherwise, I'm a bad, bad man. So there's that. That's why my arm is moving all funny. Um, there's that. Uh, the next story before we head out of here on the top of the hour, because we're gonna leave a little early today. Um, I love it when the media tells the truth. They get it wrong so often. Um, they like to cause fights and animosity and have clickbait and have all this drama. But every once in a while, like a clock, the media gets it right, and the right wing get outraged about it. And I totally get you where you come on the religious on blaming why we can't have nice things. I'm not quite there yet. There are some good religious folks out there. It's the loud, crazy ones that we got to keep an eye on. They're the ones that make it bad for everybody else. The nice ones who just want to talk to Jesus and Buddha and the Mushroom Man or the Spaghetti Monster, for that matter. They're not so bad, but the ones that get all whoop whoop whoop, those are the ones you got to worry about. The ones who primarily fundraise for the Trump cult that we're talking about next in this article. Those are the ones from Daily Mail and the Daily Mail, for that matter, are there. So, Elon Musk is in the news as usual, and he is saying that Mehdi Hassan is not right for saying America far right wants to give us white supremacy and no democracy. He's a little bit mad about that. I don't see where she's wrong. She essentially said Republicans are Nazis, and that's nothing that Tara Devlin or I haven't said on this show. And they were warning about Musk's plan with the platform on Twitter. And this is where we are. This is where we're going. And they're not wrong for once. The media got it right. Hassan got it right about the Republicans. Because again, it goes back to you try and be nice until you're blue in the face about these people. But they don't return the favor. And in kind, they are happy to punch you in the face. They are happy to hit you when you're down. They are happy to do whatever it takes to harm you. And I love this. Why do you want to kill babies? Yeah. You gonna adopt them? You gonna raise them and take care of them and give them education, cradle to grave? You gonna do all those things? When you are, then come back to me about that. But unless you're gonna be a part of raising these so-called babies, Hassan is right about the Republican Party. And apparently you, if you're not being sarcastic. Venus, in the Twitch, these Republicans don't want to give health care. They don't want to give child care. But they do, as she said, want to give us white supremacy and no democracy. And Venus, I'm just curious. What decade are you in? The 1950s? At least you're talking about condoms and protected sex. But why are you laying it all on the woman? Isn't that a little misogynistic of you? It takes two people to have a baby. And it comes to the woman's choice because it's her body, which is the long and short of it. And before I go, I'm tired of this outlook. Don't. Well, you know what? They did. And we're here. And again, it goes back to, are you going to do any of these things for these children? To help them? Are you, Venus, how's your stance on gays adopting or lesbians adopting these kids? These unborn babies that I'm supposed to be worried about. How's your stance on making sure they get educated and get childcare and get healthcare? How's your stance on that? Or is it out of the woman that no nothing? But I'm killing them. Yeah. I have the wire hanger at I have the wire I love leaving on this note. I have the wire hanger next to the coochie killing the baby. That's what we're ending on. That's a pleasant view. It's my fault. Because I want to see women have access to the health care they need. But again, you never answered my question about, health care, child care, and all of that. And I just love this. You just, no sex until marriage. Oh my God. Puritan much. I'd like to end on this note because I can't continue with this dialogue because this is insane. But this is what you get. Again, not worrying about the child's health care, not worrying about the child's education, not worrying about anything after they pop out of the womb. This is the Republican outlook. We got to think about the babies. Don't kill the babies. But don't do a damn thing. Don't do a damn thing for the baby after. Such bullshit. See you tomorrow, folks. We'll be back for 2 hours tomorrow. I just can't. My tolerance level is gone. Bye for now. Everybody stay safe.